I don't know if you can see me or not, but my name's Dave. I'm also known as Infected Flinch. Am I even recording? Yeah, I am. There's a bit of dramatic music in the background, but that's not intentional, so I'll just turn that off. There we go. It's very early. I'm sat in my car on my own drive. Got the light on, this phone, and I'm gonna go and pick up Stefan, and we're gonna go watch From Bedrooms to Billions for Retro Unlim. I don't look excited because I've just worked late and I'm getting up early, but I am excited. So, yay! Hello, Stefan.
Hello. Hello, Dave. How's it going?
Question. It's good. There we go.
I sort of look at you and talk, and
yeah.
I'm going to walk into this barrier. So, yes, hello, Dave. What are we doing up at this ungodly hour on a Saturday morning?
I don't know. I believe some person called Retro Unlim has told us to go to this thing at silly o'clock in the morning when I've been working late. I mean, look at me.
We've been tasked, have we?
Tasked. So
challenge.
We are walking around Sheffield at silly o'clock in the morning.
Look, there is no one. No one.
There is nothing here.
No one thinks this time is a good idea.
But yeah, this is my hometown. We talk about it a lot. It's all right, isn't it?
We do talk about it a lot.
We do. So we are. That's green, so we're all right. We're not going to die. That's red. We might die.
Our famous Supertron.
Yeah, Supertron there. And that's where I work. So, but yeah, we're going to go and see this film. Are we going to ask him bad questions at the end?
No, we could grill him like Paxman.
Yeah, I am Paxman. Oh.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Are we going?
I did some research. I actually did research.
Yes, you did.
I have questions. I need answers.
You do. But yeah, there's the guys from Crytek. So I think we need
UK.
We need to ask them and ask where's Time Splitters 4.
They've talked about that actually.
Yeah.
It's the publisher's fault.
Yeah.
But there you go. So yeah, what's the film called, Dave?
Bedrooms to Billions.
It is Bedrooms to Billions. Not bed knobs and broomsticks.
Bedrooms to Billions was your first porn movie, weren't it?
Yes.
So
back in the day when we used to have bedposts, not really so much anymore.
So yeah, we'll be back in a moment because we're just walking now. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, me too. Me too. Running. Oh, now it turns. Yeah, it
turns.
Yeah, we were just.
Now it turns.
We were trying to basically cross the road, and it was a dangerous mission, wasn't it?
It was. You know when you have a chance to do something, and you pause, you hesitate, and then you see it slip away, and then you try and get it back, and you can't.
Yeah.
And you're just stuck there in this one place, and you can't get out of it, and you just left there to rue your mistake. And you think next time I'll be more impulsive. I'll go with my gut, and you know you find yourself next week stuck at the lights again. You're like,
or in the hospital.
Or in the hospital.
But we're almost there. We're near my old university, in fact. Yeah, this is just a little preamble, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like, I don't know, it's raw.
Raw is war.
Raw is war. Yeah, so this film is about the UK video games industry through the 70s, 80s, 90s, and I assume the noughties as well.
Oh, you are naughty.
So I'm looking forward to it because we have a really unique history with video games,
We
especially in
do.
the early days.
And we're actually quite good at making video games as well.
We are.
Now this thing here used to be the National Centre of Popular Music.
Yes.
And it was wank. It was absolute wank.
They built it in Sheffield,
Mm.
which is, I love Sheffield, but like nobody really comes to Sheffield as like a touristy thing. I don't think.
Well, we've lived here all our lives, haven't we? So we might not see it that way.
Maybe, yeah. But
Yeah, it was a colossal failure. It was absolutely shite. But it's the place where the students go now. So
to get hilariously drunk.
yeah, and yeah, it's just one of those things. But as you can see, here we go. It's called Bar Phoenix. If you say it Sheffield, Bar Phoenix. But this in front of us is actually where we're going to watch the film. So it's actually called the Showroom.
This show.
The Showroom. But we're going to get round the corner and we'll actually have a look, see what it's like inside. And yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice cinema actually.
It is, I've been in it before.
It's like sort of art house, indie, high-end sort of cinema.
Yeah.
It won't show Spider-Man 2.
Yes, yeah, 'cause Spider-Man 2 was good. But yeah, we'll see you after the film, and we'll let you know if it was shit or not. Sorry, retro. See you in a bit. Here I go, down the slope. Oh, I'm going zip zap zoopity pop. So that's the cinema room right there.
Yeah, this is where the magic happens.
That's where you showcase all your films.
All my films. We have a private screening every month. Good community.
Yeah.
Community.
Yeah. What do you reckon to that?
I think it looks a little strange with a moustache. It's not a strong moustache.
Yeah.
I hope it's set in the 80s, to be honest.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we just finished the film, the video, and the thing, haven't we?
We have finished watching Bedrooms to Billions, and
I've only had one.
there was a Q&A afterwards, which we can we say it?
We've recorded it.
You may or may not see it.
You may or may not see it. Games Britannia might let us show it, and I'm sorry if you can't hear us. But yeah, we were going to film the credits because Retro London was going to be in the credits, but there were no credits, were there?
It was a black screen.
It was a dead black screen. It was good. Yeah, it was good.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a preview screening, so it's not finished yet.
It's very long.
It's,
We woke up. Well, I woke up about 8:15 this morning, as you knew from the beginning. Because we've done a little clip. We got there for like 9:30, and we've only just finished at 2:15.
it wasn't that long.
I mean, it was the Q&A took a bit of it, but the actual film was 2.5 hours, wasn't it?
We had to restart it as well. But
Yeah.
it was 2 hours 25 minutes long. But there's stuff they want to take out, stuff they want to put in, and there's still tweaking to be done basically. But I think it's largely there.
Yeah, so decent film. I'm just going to check if this is actually filming, so sorry about this, everyone. Because I am worried. Please be recording. Yes, watch it not record anymore. Jump cut.
Jump.
But yeah, we're doing this in a pub in Sheffield, and I don't know if you can see my delicious weather. It's lovely weather.
It's a bit cold and cloudy, and it was raining earlier. It's a perfect time to be in the cinema though.
Yeah, as I was saying, it's a bit on the long side. It seems to have a bit of an everybody loves Jeff Minter.
Yes.
It had a bit of an obsession with Jeff Minter, didn't it, through it? He kept on popping up.
Well, they did say in the Q&A afterwards that everyone has an obsession with Jeff Minter. It just came up a lot when they were interviewing other people, so it's just a very relevant figure, I think.
There was, I mean, when we were saying it came out, Jeff Crammond only got like 10 seconds of the entire film.
Yeah. It was a very, very long film, but he was trying to cover like a massive subject, so it was covering the entire of the British video game industry from the start till now, basically. It's in like nearly every aspect of that. So it's a huge amount of history to try and fit in a film.
Yeah, I mean, it was very good. I mean, we did actually, well, Stefan actually asked the question, why don't we release it as a series? And they pretty much said to you, no. It was pretty much.
Yeah, I asked if they'd considered making it more of a series and where people watch it.
We're doing a lot of jump cuts right now. So the slightest touch or anything we're going to turn on, and probably you can't hear me. But yeah, we're basically saying that to tell them basically, well, we're saying why not make it into a TV show?
Yeah, they're very ambitious. It's a very ambitious idea. We're trying to cover 4 decades, maybe something like that. And they had a lot of great detail, a lot of great stories, and stuff you didn't want to see go. But at the same time, it was too long.
Yeah.
And so I was asking if it was broken off into separate chunks. So if you have a section in the 70s, the 80s, 90s, I'll do it by like the sort of the generations. You know, it might suit the content better. But they were very adamant they wanted it to be a film.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's their film. So
yeah, it is. But yeah, it's enjoyable. It couldn't have been any. If it was shorter, it would have made no sense. Because there was no narrative to it. It was almost like the story was told by them.
Yeah, they didn't want to have like a narrator over the top. So they wanted it all to be told through the people who were there, who did it, which is, you know, it's very, very noble. But they didn't pick a through line really.
Who was the guy that got rid? There was a guy who had no teeth and he was really depressed.
Oh yeah.
What was his name? Was it Matt Smith? But that was the only bit of sadness they touched on. I mean, like, I wanted them to kind of focus on the emotion of it a bit more. I mean, the passion was there, but the emotion of it, like the fact that it destroyed people.
Yeah,
There was
very, very briefly they sort of covered when it all collapsed in the early 90s.
It was
and
almost
I
like,
couldn't-
yeah, it was almost like, yeah, that happened. It was almost like that. And like the CDI and those. But I mean, like even the fact that I wanted them to kind of go into the fact like US Gold like made flashback for the 3DO and the CDI, and that ruined them because they were crap consoles. I know they were, but they were these British-based publishers.
They didn't talk about how when cartridges came in that
20 quid a cartridge, wasn't it?
yeah the costs to produce a cartridge was they just used to use tapes and floppy disks and they cost like next to nothing, and going to cartridges they said they had to take a lot more gambles and it also took a long time to manufacture them, so
Yeah, cause
that did them in really.
Yeah, because he was saying about the guy who owned US Gold, he said for the Master System they had like 6 phases, rather than just go, yeah, made it, get it out, sold, which is what they used to do. It was like something ridiculous, weren't it? Testing. Then they had to give it to them to test. Then they said, that's fine, you're going to have to do this.
It went back even further. They had to go to Sega and say, we want to make this game, is that okay? And Sega were like, yes. And they had a limit on how many games they could make in a year. So they had to go to Sega and say, can we make this game? And Sega would go, yes. And then they would make the game, and Sega had to say whether it was good enough or not to get released. And they would go back and forth.
Yeah.
And then they had to take a gamble on how many copies they would sell because it was so inflexible and so expensive to make the cartridges. Yeah.
And it pretty much destroyed him. And IDOS, I mean, there was IDOS. I wanted them to focus on IDOS, but they didn't really. I wanted to kind of find out how they fell from grace so spectacularly. Because, I mean, they were massive. I mean, like with Tomb Raider and everything, and then just vanished because they just kept on fucking up.
Yeah, they made bad moves, bad calls, bad choice of games, you know.
Yeah,
but they said it. I mean, stuff like that. They didn't have that specific example, but they had like people talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
I think the only thing is, it's great for gamers. Because a lot of them were like when Jeff Crammond came on for his 10 seconds of glory, and the guys who made Dizzy. I was like, the guys who made Dizzy, and then it was just like, yeah, you're not going to see him again. Oh. And it focused on people who were interesting enough, but I wanted to kind of go, well, what about those guys? The other ones, like, who were the two weird brothers? The one who looked really miserable and the one who looked really, really miserable.
Oh, there was one of them. I don't think said a single thing.
We just sat there.
He just nodded every now and again, and I
What was it? What were they?
I can't remember.
But they were just because they were people who were I know the guy who owns Codemasters. He's knowledgeable, but he is boring as shit to watch. What was his name? The guy who said, "Oh yeah, we're going to make Colin McRae. Then we're going to make Colin McRae too."
No, I mean, it was a good point though.
They were great points, but then they were just like the fact that you had the guy who did Little Big Planet, who was really interested, and he was like, he did all the Commodore stuff, and the guys who did Dizzy, and whenever Jeff Nimmer came on, it was always great. Everybody loved Jeff Nimmer when he came on. But Peter Molyneux, I mean, I actually asked as a question, did he do anything outrageous or say anything outrageous, because he was the man of so many outrageous claims. And it turned out he did.
Yeah, there was a bit of like it lacked a personality sometimes. Like you have, it was very. It was a lot about the history and the facts of what happened. But you'd also like Peter Molyneux. You knew he was good for like some crazy stories, but
they weren't there.
They weren't there because they didn't have the time to put it in. It's like.
The Stampers didn't get much either, and everybody knows how crazily enigmatic those two are.
But look, there is a great story.
Yeah, where they were sending people games.
They were, the Stamper brothers. They were so confident in their games. They just sent them to their rivals, and the rivals would play their games and get demoralised because they were so much better.
Some of them took it on chin like, yeah, we need to make games like that now.
Yeah.
Some of them I don't think took very well.
And there was a bit where they went to an awards ceremony, and they just rocked up in a limo, went up, got their awards, and walked straight back out in the limo and just drove off. And I love that. I would liked more like antics.
Yeah, I wanted to know more about the fact that in the early 80s and even into the early 90s, there must have been some crazy shit going down, and it wasn't there. But he actually said though it was more for kids. He was making it for kids, wasn't he? It was about teaching our kids what came before, which I think is quite admirable. Because I mean, retro gaming. I mean, this is the thing. It's not technically retro gaming. It is, but. I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I think they felt a responsibility and a duty to.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
To make sure this stuff was documented and like these people had a chance to talk about what was a massive part of like our history.
Because it's like now, it's like you've got Sony, you've got Microsoft, who are the major publishers now. Back then you had Elite, you had Domark, you had IDOS, you had name some other ones, big uns.
Oh, there was loads.
There was loads.
There was loads, but like
so many of them, and now they're gone. They're gone.
Yeah, so it was like they wanted. I think it suffered a bit from like I don't know Wonder Woman syndrome, where I'm going somewhere with this. One of the problems with Wonder Woman is because she is like the main only focal woman in like DC, every sort of burden of like what a woman needs to be is thrust upon Wonder Woman. She can't have her own. She can't be too idiosyncratic or have too many flaws because she has to represent everything about women, and you know, and because there aren't any other documentaries, these are the only guys. I have to give them credit for like
They've done well.
They made a great documentary about the history of video games in Britain, and no one else was making that.
No.
They tried for years to get it made, and nobody would give them money to it. They went out, got it funded, and made it. And like we have to acknowledge that. And at the same time, it's like because it's the only one we have, it has too much to do, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of games and publishers and developers that have come and gone and have been left. Because like, I mean, you could whinge and whine about the stuff that they missed, but to be fair, they did incredibly well with what they had. I didn't even realise there was this young guy talking about like, oh, you know, I used to read Zap magazine and I used to read that and there were these guys in it. I mean, I knew no about it because obviously it was a bit before my time. But then at the very end, I didn't realise he was the guy who did the Football Manager stuff. And he said, look, the reason why I'm still doing it is because I still love it. We're only going to put X amount of money because it's a small amount. But I know full well we're only going to get like 500,000 back. But at least I know we've made a game and people are actually going to enjoy it. And I think the whole film is trying to get at the fact that maybe it's got too corporate. And I think that's what they're trying to get at, in a way. But there were so many messages that were trying to be relayed in one film about the gaming industry now. It's like they were saying in the Q&A that it's gone back to bedrooms again. There's evidence of that, but it's still, this is still controlled by the big AAA developer or publishers and everything, even now.
Oh yeah, I think one of the best parts of the film was it talked about how the British banks were not willing to invest in games in the early 90s. Like when costs scaled up, when we went to cartridges and stuff like that, developers physically could not get a hold of the money to make games anymore, to keep up. If you didn't keep up, you dropped off. Like you had to be cutting edge.
Yeah.
But to get cutting edge, you needed the money, and it sort of covered it really well by saying.
Actually, that explains though. Like they were saying, like the cost of a CD to be made was like 20p, but the royalties were like £1. So you can actually make back what you'd already made, because that's when Sony came in.
But it was almost too late then.
Yeah, it was.
In between like the Mega Drive and the SNES and the PlayStation, those years, it killed off a lot of.
Yeah. But I mean, this is what I was saying. I mean, like with the CDI and 3DO, they had CD stuff, and you did actually see a lot of games being made. Like, I bought 2 games. This is actually kind of weird. I bought 2 games. One was published by Domark, the other was published by Elite. So that settles well with what he said. It's cheaper to do. But the thing is, because it was probably before its time, nobody bought the damn thing.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So, and they were just saying how the American companies were just more willing to invest and put that money in.
The banks were backing them because they knew what it was like.
Yeah, and they didn't draw this parallel in the film, but like it's happened again and again in Britain with other industries like the automotive industry and.
Because they said that, didn't they?
It's like it's happened a lot of times where we've had innovation and just.
I'm just going to check actually if it's still filming. Yes, it is. I'm not touching it.
We've been innovative, we've built something from nothing, and we've created a great industry in this country, and then failed to capitalise on it because, you know, basically, no one's willing to take the punt.
I think he was right though. I don't know if it was in the Q&A or in the film. We are fucking short-sighted in some ways. I don't know if it's either because they kind of made it whimsical saying we're tinkerers. I think we're just. It's fine that we're tinkerers, but we don't think far enough ahead. I mean, you see it a lot, like mining, games development, cars. We do stuff, we make money out of it, and think, we'll just keep it like that. That's going to work forever.
Well, one of the things they put in the film is that we built the first computer.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Like, then like IBM was the company like that took over the computer world. But like we were doing that first in Britain.
And we fucked up royally. We just kept on. Yeah.
So in some ways, it did have like a cautionary tale to it, because they were bringing it back to indie games again, and how it's going back to the bedroom. And there are all lessons to be learned from what happened in the past. And I think that's one of the great things about having this documentary is you can see what people did before and the mistakes they made and what to learn from that. And I think yeah, as a historical sort of tool, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, it is. And if he does manage to, well, if they both do manage to get it into schools and stuff, I think that's great. You know, I think kids. I mean, this is something I lament now because it gets me angry. It's like I play Minecraft and you go, "Do you remember SimCity?" And I bet they'll not remember it. Like even before, you know, just stupid games like Constructor and Theme Park and Theme Hospital, all kinds of stuff that you can build stuff with like that. They'll not remember it. I mean, if you ask the kid, do you know what a Sinclair ZX81 is? They won't know what that is. They won't have a clue. They'd just say, yeah, it looks shit. And it's nice to have something like this that does, you know, shows it for what it is. But it's a big subject, and I think that's what lets it down. And as you said to him in the Q&A, I think it needs breaking down into chunks. If you were going to be putting it in schools, you'd do like how we used to have, like modern science in the fucking 70s.
Yeah.
Because you used to laugh at that thing where like that kid flies off that box and then breaks.
That was great timing.
Is it just the recording?
Low phone space.
Oh, it's very nice. Is it stopped?
No, it's still going.
Right. Well, anyway, I think we've ruined that with the phone doing that.
Are you on about the thing where, do you see the one where the guy jumps off the diving board and becomes an egg? Yeah.
Well, comment, like and subscribe as you normally do, and Stefan's going to do what he usually does with me. So, you got any last thoughts about the film?
Definitely check it out. We should put a link to the website.
It'll be on the Retro Unlim site. Yeah. Thank you to Retro Unlim letting us go and see that for free. So.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
It was.
Let's do something.
I've had a great day.
I've had a great day.
Get a drink. It'd be interesting to see what else is to come, because he talked a lot about special features and things you had to cut and they want to do.
Yes, he did.
So I think this is going to be an ongoing thing, and there's going to be a lot more to come. So
go and have a look. Bedrooms to billions.
If you are remotely interested in this sort of thing, I'd definitely recommend it. There you go. There's a nod. There you go.
Bye.